Starting off, April is Autism Acceptance Month, and tonight you have the custom shoes. What does it mean to be a part of that and helping benefit Scott Morrison and also the Max Foundation?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great effort, by Scott and everybody involved, I think, to raise awareness and just help in any way we can. So I think it's a really cool. I think it's going to be the first time I've worn a different pair of shoes in a game, so excited for it.
And then just with Bradley Beal making his return, will he be on any type of minutes restriction coming back?
I think we'll be smart with him. I think, be logical and sensible as he comes back. So, but definitely excited to have him back.
As far as what he's been able to do back in Phoenix.
Yeah, he's making good progress. I think the work by the medical group, the sports performance group's been good. There's real no update, but he's making good progress.
So he hasn't been on the court yet?
No, he has not been on the court.
Okay. And then with Brad, what final box did he check that made you feel like, or the medical felt like, okay, he's good to go?
Well, he's played fives, a couple times. I think the timeline from the original injury, is close to, if not what we expected. So, individual work in the weight room, playing 5-on-5, all those things. He's come through them all in a good place, and so looking forward to having him back.
Will you start him tonight?
We'll announce the starters at 30.
And then looking at Boston, not only it's difficult to guard them one-on-one, but then they kind of force two on the ball, and then they move it, and all of a sudden guys wide open. Maybe what's that challenge of trying to guard them one-on-one, and is that ultimately what needs to happen for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I think that's the great challenge. This team, the way they've been put together, with shooting, basically all up and down the roster, with maybe Cornette being the exception. But they've always got spacing. They've got a great offensive rebounding, and they've got great one-on-one players. So I think the more you can try and take that challenge individually, try and limit the open threes, try and limit the playing against closeouts and getting into rotations. But, these guys have been doing it at a high level. But I think our guys respect the challenge and look forward to it.
What is kind of that mindset? I've asked a couple coaches this year against Boston, defensively. Do you kind of choose one thing going in? Do you adjust as the game goes on? What's kind of the thinking going against a team that's going to get that many threes up?
Yeah, it's, I think sometimes, you like to just think that you can throw, either a team or an individual different looks so they don't get a rhythm, for 48 minutes. But obviously if something's working, you may stick with it. But I think you got to have an ability to change up a little bit, on a big picture, change up a little bit, on an individual, change up a little bit. So that's, I think that's the test for all of us in the league against this team.
You've played many big games here over the years as a coach. What is something that has to happen no matter what squad you have to pull out a victory in this type of environment?
Yeah, I think you always got to be good defensively. You got to have an ability to kind of dig in and get stops, have an identity there, build some momentum on the defensive end, take care of the glass, get outrun, kind of play free. This is a great arena, great atmosphere, but, it's the same stuff that you got to do every night to win.
Coach, you won a title with Jrue Holiday in Milwaukee. As playoff time approaches, just how valuable is the little stuff that he does?
Yeah, Jrue he's just kind of the ultimate winner. He makes so many little plays, really both ends of the court. I think everybody talks about, how great he is defensively, and he takes on tough matchups. He gets his hands on balls. He just does so many little things. But offensively, it's similar. His selflessness, his ability to create space in places where maybe other people don't want to go, and he learns how to thrive in those spaces and, loves the big moment. So he's a great player. Ton of respect for him and appreciation for what he's done, throughout his whole career, to be honest with you.
Want to ask about Al as well. Joe was talking about how many times he's reinvented himself throughout his career, and now it even looks like he's trying to get back into that post area again. What have you kind of seen from him, the progression over his career? And obviously it started there a little bit in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, a super smart player. He's just, a high IQ guy, both ends of the court. Again, selfless, does anything to win. But, he really, I think, embraced, spacing and shooting threes and then being able to attack a closeout from behind the line and passing and doing all the different things that you can do with more space. And he's kind of mastered that. I think that's like an old story now, but I think he always likes to go into the post and shoot a little righty hook and do some work down there. So he's just a unique talent, a unique young individual, that's continuing to impact winning. All right, thanks, guys.